What's up everyone, Darcblade here with the highlights of the Cyberpunk 2077 Night City Wire Episode 2. Earlier today, CD Projekt Red put on their Night City Wire Episode 2, where they gave us new information regarding features and various teasers. Through the use of trailers and interviews with the developers, they gave us information on Cyberpunk 2077's life paths, some behind the scenes regarding the music, and a section regarded as tools of destruction, which went over various weapons in the game. So the first major aspect that was shown off was the life paths. These are background stories that your created character would have. In a trailer, it showed off each of these life paths, giving us hints at what we can expect. They showed off the Street Kid path, which is based around your character growing up on the streets, learning how the gangs work, being a streetwise character who is well versed in the lower workings of Night City. It then went off to show the Nomad life path, which is a background where your character grew up in the Badlands, which is the outskirts of Night City. This more rural and desert-based background has a heavy emphasis on family, and through various reasons, your character has to make their way into Night City from the outside. But as a result, your character is very hardened, having grown up in more inhospitable areas. And then they showed off the corpos. These are all about business, the higher-ups, the upper echelons of Night City. Here it's all about money and power, and obviously corporate espionage. Through the trailer they showed off and the interview with the developer afterwards, they gave us information on these life paths and how they can affect your gameplay when interacting with various characters in the world of Cyberpunk 2077. So for example, a street kid is obviously going to be more aware of some of the terminology, issues, and various factions that roam the streets of Night City, whilst a corpo will be more aware of how the various corporations operate. This is definitely going to add to the replayability of Cyberpunk 2077, as if you want to experience everything from every single angle, you're going to have to delve into the various life paths. But then Holly and her team went on to talk a bit more about fixers, which are certain individuals that organise, shall we say, certain tasks for people in higher places. As the game starts off, the fixers are who hire you, the player, and from there the game gets started. But they didn't go into too much more information regarding them. The show then went on to put a segment regarding the music of Cyberpunk 2077, going behind the scenes in a little short documentary almost called Becoming Samurai. During this section though, in terms of gameplay, it hinted at potentially playing a flashback or some sort of scene where you play as Johnny Silverhand. But obviously we'll have to wait and see for when the game releases, or they give us more information to if this is true or not. And then finally they went on to show off, which was probably the biggest section of the show, which was Tools of Destruction. This showed off a trailer highlighting all the various weapons we can get in the game. Now the weapons, as well as being divided into different traditional weapon categories such as shotguns, sniper rifles, pistols, so on and so forth, they have their own almost subsection. There are tech weapons, which are electromagnetic based weapons that give players abilities to shoot through walls and such. There are power weapons, which are straight up powerhouses able to rip people in half should they be hit. There are smart weapons, which come with the likes of homing bullets, melee weapons, and cyberware weapons. For the cyberware weapons, they showed off mantis blades, which have been heavily advertised in the game's promotion so far, gorilla arms, which obviously turns your punches into fists of metal. You're also able to use these to pull off turrets from their mounts and so on. And they also showed off the projectile launch system, which seems to be wrist-mounted rockets. The developers then went on to talk about how these weapon aspects fit into RPG mechanics, and it seems that as you level up or advance in rank and so on and so forth, then your reload times will improve, your ADS will improve, etc. But they did say, much like any RPG game out there, there are different qualities of weapons, so you have common, uncommon, rare, legendary, so on and so forth. And unfortunately the best weapons can only be found from certain enemies or certain special caches. The common weapons in that can easily be bought from shops. But with your various weapons you can also put attachments on them, which are pretty bog standard, like extended magazines, extending the clip size, the usual attachment stuff that you would find in other FPS games. But to make things slightly more special and more cyberpunky, there's also software mods. These are little chips that you can insert into the gun, giving them special qualities. For example, you can give your weapon non-lethal ammunition, so they really change the way your gun works potentially. But that was about it for the highlights of the Night City Wire Episode 2. As always, I'll leave a link down in the description below if you want to check out the full Night City Wire presentation for yourself. And overall, what were your thoughts? Leave a comment down below, and until next time, I've been Darcblade, bringing you the highlights of the Cyberpunk 2077 Night City Wire Episode 2. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.